Hello people, we are back here, episode 13 of the AUNZ Music Podcast. Let's get into it. Today, we are joined by Emily. How are you today?
I'm great.
Great! Awesome. The plant's looking healthy in the background too. I like that.
Oh yeah, I'm a big plant lover. I got a good at least 30, I reckon, in my house.
Whoa! All right. That sounds fun. Plant babies.
Yes.
Okay, let's hear a little bit about Emily. She is a Christchurch-based bassist who's firmly working full-time in the music industry. She plays bass for multiple NZ artists, hitting some pretty major stages along the way, including Electric Avenue, Rolling Meadows, Soundsplash, the Trust's Arena, and has even toured Europe and Asia. Emily performs with artists Lavetta and Caitlin, plays regularly in cover bands, and has worked in theatre pits for productions such as Beauty and the Beast and Mamma Mia at the Isaac Royal Theatre. She's also a music educator, passing on the knowledge, and holds a Bachelor of Music for the Christchurch Jazz School. Very cool, Emily. Could you maybe share us one silly fun fact about you, just to break the ice a little bit for the listeners? Anything jump to mind there? Some juicy juice?
I don't know if this is fun, but very, very recently I was surfing in South Shore and I seen a shark. I'd never seen a shark in my life.
Oh my gosh.
It was fun but scary, I guess.
Yeah, that is scary. How long have you been surfing?
A few years, maybe like 8 years, but not properly, just at leisure.
Are you getting into it more now, or?
Yes, I think now I am. Over the summer, it's been a good surf summer, I feel like. So I've been heading here in Kaikoura a bit.
Nice. What type of shark was it?
I think it was a bronze whaler, so I don't think they really go for people, which is good news, but they're big enough to give you a good fright.
Yeah, that would scare the shit out of me.
Yeah.
If I'm real. Yeah, that's probably partly what stopped me from getting into surfing and stuff, I reckon. Even though it's obviously so uncommon, really. But that just sounds like one of the worst ways to go, I reckon. Shark attack.
That would be the worst way to go.
Yeah. All right, let's push on through to our music chats. We're starting with an article from music.nz on the 5th of February. We're chatting here on the 9th of February, by the way, team. This article is entitled, NZ Artists Help Drive Growth in Music Consumption. According to data collated by Recorded Music NZ, Kiwi streamed music over 12.4 billion times in 2025, and nearly 900 million of those streams were New Zealand music. Recorded Music NZ further reported that while total audio streams increased by 1% from 2024, reflecting a mature streaming market, the past 5 years have seen an increase of 30% in streaming. Although music streaming remains the dominant mode of consumption, 2025 was a strong year for albums too. Total album sales were up just over 10% from 2024. Notably in 2025, year-on-year growth in streaming and album sales of New Zealand music outpaced the overall market. New Zealand album sales grew by 18%, and streaming of New Zealand music rose over 3% in 2025. Reflecting the success, 2025 saw 3 Aotearoa artists edge out global competition to reach number 1 in the top 40 charts. That was Marlon Williams, Lorde, and Devilskin. Recorded Music NZ CEO Joe Oliver said, although there is much to celebrate, the environment for recording artists, both here and globally, is more complex than ever before. In this election year, Recorded Music NZ is calling on government and political parties to support the music industry and local artists to shine through ensuring the correct regulatory settings, supporting development for artists and industry, and fostering the conditions for export to thrive. So, Emily, do you have any perspectives on the current music consumption methods we have, or even the political climate around music? Because feelings towards streaming have been somewhat controversial over the past year. So I'm curious, what do you think?
Yeah, when reading that article, it's awesome for New Zealand music, right? And 2025 was the year they were talking about, and although it says that I guess physical copies and stuff have been sold more, it's really hard to see it, especially in the musician world, when we're constantly dealing with streaming, and it's the way we share it with each other to learn things. As teaching, it's just constantly what I'm constantly using. But yes, I still think streaming is always going to dominate. I don't think it'll ever overtake with physical.
Certainly not.
Which is like sad, but yeah.
I feel you. I don't know anyone who buys albums. So I keep hearing about these stats about physical sales are increasing. Yeah. I know a couple of people that maybe collect records, but apart from that, not really.
That's what I was going to say. There's I guess collectors, and I know lots of people that own maybe a singular record just to have the physical copy, but I would have very much assumed that they would listen to the album via streaming before they would even buy it. I wouldn't know, wouldn't hear of anyone buying a record for the first time and never have heard any of the music on it. So,
yeah. Because it's so readily available on streaming too.
So readily available.
Yeah, you get a notification and everything if you want.
Exactly. I grew up in a non-technology internet kind of household, so I have crazy amount of CDs still. I don't really know what to do with, but I don't have a CD player anymore, but I just had collected them because I was learning and listening via them. So it's a very different way to how I feel like I grew up, what it is now. A better way in terms of faster learning, faster absorption.
Yeah. And maybe thinking more about your wider circle of friends, not necessarily in the music industry, but friends in general, how do they feel about Spotify at the moment? Because as I was saying, it's kind of a controversial company at the minute. Some people are making moves away. I have people that are actively against Spotify, publicly against Spotify. I have other friends who have just made a private decision that they want to explore Apple Music or YouTube or whatever it may be. What's been your reflections on the feels around Spotify?
Yeah, I think same really, a bit of both. Some maybe emerging artists who haven't used Spotify yet and just not going to even go there yet and do Apple Music. Actually, I've heard one of my friends are thinking about that, and others, I guess, it's just the most used streaming Spotify, right? And they just feel like they have to go there if they want any form of progression, even though it might not.
Yeah,
so 50-50, I feel like 50-50 kind of.
Right. I definitely prefer the user interface on Spotify. I tried them all out back in, when was that? Maybe 2020. Mm-hmm. So I'm sure they've all advanced a lot, but in that time, Spotify felt the easiest to navigate. Similar to the same way, I feel like Netflix is just ahead of the game compared to the other video streaming platforms as well.
Absolutely.
It's something about it.
It's interesting because my dad, over the years, I've tried to introduce him to Spotify, and he just can't hack it. He doesn't find it easy. He prefers just YouTube, just watching music videos on YouTube. So generational, I guess. Man,
YouTube has so many ads now, though.
Yep, I know.
Oh my gosh. I'm tempted to get YouTube, YouTube Premium.
Yeah.
Just to avoid those ads. Because I do like watching Tiny Desks or other live in the moment captures of songs. And it just breaks the vibe. when I get an ad from a bank midway through.
Yeah, mine's always Grammarly comes up. So
yeah.
Spelling wrong.
Yeah, you got some grammar to work on, Emily.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, nice. Cool. Do you use Spotify as well yourself?
Yeah, I use Spotify mostly.
Hmm.
Um, but I guess if other artists maybe are sharing music with me, they'll use SoundCloud quite heavily, I would say.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. SoundCloud does seem to be something that people like to upload semi-finished songs onto
Yeah.
and share them around. I don't know how they sorted that out, because that's a nice little feature for SoundCloud. Because you could just upload a file to Google Drive, right?
Absolutely, yeah. That's I don't receive Google Drive files, I feel like, as much these days. So
Yeah. Have you ever navigated releasing music then? I know that you play bass, but have you ever had to look at the back end of navigating Spotify from that?
I haven't actually. I've had artists kind of explain to me how much they struggle like picking is it distributors via
Yeah.
even Spotify, but I haven't directly had to deal with it. But it seems very stressful.
Yeah. It is a tough one because there's so many distributors now. It's kind of a funny thing, right? Because if you think about YouTube, you've got that direct upload, right? You just upload it from where you are. But then for these music streaming platforms, you have to access a middleman. I guess it was quality control initially, but is it still that? Like, why do we need that middleman? Why can't I just upload my music straight onto Spotify?
Absolutely.
Because it's not like, I don't think many distributors are stopping the music from going there. Like, I remember when Spotify first started, it was like a big deal to have your music on Spotify. It's like, whoa, oh, your music's on Spotify. And now it's like, well, if your music's not on Spotify, like, what are you up to? Like, let's go.
I know, and I feel like people still see it like that. They're still like, oh, you're not on Spotify, are you really?
Yeah, I'm probably not going to listen to your music if it's not on Spotify.
Yeah,
There's a lot of that energy around.
absolutely.
Oh, well. Power to those people that buy albums. I mean,
Yes.
it's like I said, I don't know many people who do it, but apparently these physical sales keep going up. I'm guessing it's mostly records, because
Yeah, I've got like
CDs.
a singular record without a record player. Like,
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
I've been gifted them a lot, which is a cool gift to receive because I feel they know I like that album, but
Yeah,
I haven't ever used it.
it's more like a poster, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah. Some people will even frame them, I guess.
I should do that.
Yeah. All right, cool. Well, that brings us to the end of part 1. We are ready for our song of the month. This month we've got a new song from Flynn Gurry, Bones. Hopefully I'm saying your last name right, Flynn. We're going to hear that for a bit now, or you can go listen to the full song on probably Spotify.
Yep.
Ciao, ciao, team.
Left it to my conscience, baby. You and I were strong. We just played along, pretending we're no vultures aiming. You and I, for the taking, we relent. We relent.
Bones. Thank you very much, Flynn. That was released on January 30th of this year, 2026. What caught your attention in that song, Emily? Anything jump out?
It reminded me much of Mumford & Sons kind of style and vocals. It was good. It was just like a nice feel good, nice layers. Chord progressions was real good. I feel like it was just a feel good, nice journey, not nice dropouts. Yeah, nice dynamical use. I think so.
Definitely lots of dynamics in there, eh? It was like in, out.
It was a lot of that.
Yeah. And I always am a sucker for that major 5 chord, a little bit of harmonic minor feels in there for us.
Yeah, nice chords.
And was it in the chorus? I think it was the chorus or pre-chorus where he was doing those triplet hits. Da-da-dip.
Oh, of course.
Da-da-dip. Everyone gotta love that.
It's perfect for as a listener, as an audience member, and as a live performance song. Fantastic.
Yeah, really fun upbeat vibes. I like the reference of Mumford and Sons in there too. That's a good pickup. Maybe a little bit more pop leaning track, I would say. The production was really crisp as well.
Yeah, I was going to say that the overall mix is really nice.
Yeah, and I like the use of vocal layering. It wasn't in my face, but there was some really nice vocal tones layered underneath that primary vocal. And then in the chorus, there was like this really big sort of almost chanting, choir-y feel. Yeah, it's a hook too, really, isn't it?
It is a good hook. Yeah, no, it's a great song.
Yeah, cool. Did you pay attention to the bass? Does your ear normally go to the bass?
I think so, eh? It always, I'm like, oh, cool, it's kind of like a wee country Route 5-y feel, and I think I do, without thinking about it, go there.
Yeah.
And the last thing I always think about is the lyrics, I think.
Yeah.
But that could be a lot of instrumentalists, I assume, are similar.
Oh, you're in fine company, I think. I just mentioned on the last podcast, my ear does not really find the lyrics, even.
Yes.
I find it hard to find the lyrics.
I really agree.
I honestly couldn't tell you what that song was about.
No. Bones. I don't even know if I heard the word bones in it, but I love the melody.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. The melody still comes through, and obviously the melody wouldn't work without the words, because that's like part of that instrument, right? If they were just la 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 or humming it, it wouldn't have the same melodic effect. Exactly. So it's like the lyrics are important for me and my listening experience, but not for the fact of song story intel.
Yes, that's right. It still feels like a story without having the words. So that's a good way to put it.
Yeah. Well, yeah. There's an emotional arc with words and the feeling of words, the presentation of words. And I'm a songwriter, so like I don't think it's necessarily just something for instrumentalists to not hear the lyrics. I don't know. I feel like a lot of my friends do that, and then a lot of my non-music practicing friends will lean into lyrics.
Yes, I find that as well. Interesting that you're a songwriter and you, when you're listening, you're not listening to the words.
I know.
I would just assume otherwise, so that's cool.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I guess I get distracted by other qualities of the song.
Yeah. Especially if your first time listening to it, you're probably listening to the structure.
Oh, it's even the last listens. I never get to the lyrics. I get lost, eh? I feel like I missed something along the way, and then I'm like, shit, now I don't know where the sort of story arc is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, well. I do like lyrics, though, like when I read them. That's my experience with lyrics. Cool. A lot of what we talk about on this podcast sits under a broader artist development question: how musicians make decisions, prioritize their energy, and build practices that actually hold up over time. And that's the work that GYMjot focuses on. Not motivation or shortcuts, but structured ways of thinking clearly within real creative and industry conditions. If you're curious whether that kind of support is relevant to where you're at, there is a free 30-minute consultation available via gymjot.com.au. Now, let's get back into the artist development side of the conversation, Emily. We like to ask our artists about some aha moments they've experienced in regard to artistry, or key tips they've encountered on their road, or just moments where they feel like they encountered a real shift in the way they practice their art or navigating the music industry. So take that however you like.
Yeah, aha moments. I feel like I've had a couple good aha moments. I think Maybe a good first one is like a instrumentalist is the feeling of, and especially a bass player, the feeling of like properly locking in with another human and creating such a like a euphoric connection. I don't know if that makes sense to you. Just like properly locking in with someone and creating such a cool feeling and producing it to an audience while on stage. I think I remember playing with some other musicians when I was studying, and I was like, oh my god, it just locked in really well, and I was like, this is what it's supposed to be when you play. And every time I play and I kind of get that feeling, it's just such a, oh, this is what I play for, kind of aha moment, that if that makes sense, as like a rhythm section kind of thing. And it's really important to me that I feel good as a rhythmic player.
Yeah, it's almost like acts as that reminder to why you're doing it. Sorry, I was just going to say, let's talk a little bit more about the characteristics of that experience, because you're right, that is such a unique thing, and it's hard to verbalize what's actually going on there.
It is very hard. I was just thinking about it then. I was like, oh, it's hard to explain.
Yeah, it is. Those moments of locking in, do you think there's any preconditions that maybe make the likelihood of that happening more common? What's the sort of right
you mean like
setting?
Practicing? And is that what you mean?
Sure. That's going to help. What else could people do to increase their chances of finding lock-in moments with other musicians? Because you're right, that's like one of those beautiful parts of music.
Yeah. I think it's as well just connected with the human on stage as well, even as much as knowing them, who they are, and having a good understanding of how they play music, what music they like. That kind of helps me as well. If I know them, then I feel like you can make eye contact, you can properly sit in it without feeling uncomfortable. So like that's a big one, knowing the person, being able to look at them.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's even more than knowing their musicality, but just knowing that person to develop a sense of comfortability with that person.
Comfortability, yeah. And with all band members as well, like that is huge. I find that a massive thing, and that really shows when you're performing. You'll sound comfortable, you'll look comfortable if you are feeling comfortable with one of each other.
Yeah. And we all have different methods or avenues to finding comfort with other people.
Yeah.
What do you think are some that you lean into?
Methods
to develop rapport? Yeah, like what's those experiences that help? For me, for example, like sharing a laugh with people really does lead to increased sense of comfort and safety, I guess.
Mm-hmm. That would be the same for me, I feel like, just like in general enjoyment, and just spending like at least 30 minutes before you go on stage together as a band, just to feel like you're connected. So I really love when bands are like, oh, let's meet half an hour before, lock in mentally, make sure we're all on the same page. It really helps. Opposed to other gigs I may have done and just jumped up, and it definitely shows. Like I feel really flustered if I haven't, had a good 30-minute or even less, as long as it's not just straight on little lock in with the band.
And do you think that lock-in experience, because that's a subjective experience, right? And it is often shared with the people that you're locking in with.
Yeah.
Do you think it necessarily means the best performance as well? Or is it... Yeah? Okay, cool.
Do you mean we will create the best performance if we do that? I think so. I reckon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Do you think that's what people crave in live music?
Performance?
Well, like to be part of that almost. Like if an audience member is watching other people lock in, like is that part of what separates live music from streaming music?
Absolutely. Good point. Yes. I think that's why people still go to concerts, right? And that will never... I don't think that'll reduce. Like people always want to go see that lock-in moment, the feeling the band have together creating music, and that's what I think they go for. That's what I go for to see.
Yeah, I think it's even bigger than that. I think they actually go to participate in that too.
Oh yes, of course.
because you also lock in with the audience as well. Like, because you might provide the foundation, but you're getting feedback from the audience all the time as to whether that lock-in is connecting with them too.
Yep.
And maybe they're informing like a sort of vibe that they're wanting, or a climax that you're gonna hit, or a moment that you should hang on a little bit a little bit longer. And they're obviously more inclined to start dancing, and dancing is a rhythmic thing, so that is locking in. They're locking in rhythmically as well.
Yes, and I think we rely as performers actually quite heavily on the audience to see how they react, and that in turn makes us more together.
Yeah. I think the best performers should be worried about what the audience is feeding back to them. It's not always easy. How do you have any tips about that? Like, how do you read an audience and try and serve them best?
I just had a gig in the weekend where we had just like a private, I think it was a wedding gig, and they're very reactive audience. And what I really like about the covers band that I work with, they will just follow whatever the audience are doing and just turn around and cue us. So this specific example, we'd never done it before. The leader in our band kind of just went like this to us, and then we all just kind of crouched on the ground without even talking to each other, and just got really quiet musically, and just sort of the audience just instantly reacted and followed us, and the whole audience got down, and just like a classic build up, explode. And I was like, oh, it's so cool that we did that without even saying anything to each other, or even telling the audience what to do.
Yeah.
So,
or preparing it in any way.
Or preparing any of it, yeah. So I really love those cool moments where we lock in like that as well.
Yeah. Volcano moments. Bang.
Volcano moments. Yeah, you can't beat them.
Yeah. How does the performance setting compare for you in terms of locking in, still staying with that feel, compared to the studio?
Ooh, yes. Studio, I think it's a different kind of locking in. If you're if you're recording maybe by yourself, just like dubbing over bass, that can definitely have good lock-in. I think I get the lock-in feeling from when I listen back to it. So like I record something and then I'll listen back and I'm like, oh, that was exactly what I wanted to portray. But when you're playing it, sometimes I'm thinking a lot.
Yeah. No, that makes sense.
That's how I would get the feeling from it.
So the lock-in is recognized after the fact, whereas in performance it's recognized in the moment?
For me, yeah.
And it's a felt experience in the moment, as opposed to in the studio, it's almost like I guess it's still felt, right?
Yep.
It's based on something else though, right? In the studio, there's another level of a different criteria of some sorts, because you're trying to get this. You've got this idea of something you want to sound like, almost. Yep. So it's trying to live up to an expectation. Whereas on stage, you're not analyzing after the fact whether it reached a certain expectation. You're just feeling whether it reached the right place or not in the moment.
Agreed. I definitely feel more pressure in recording situations to like produce,
to turn up. Yeah.
To turn up, yeah, and lock in on like that specific take rather than like a moment when performing it just happened naturally. I'm like, I need it to happen now.
Yeah. What do you think some other words for lock in is then? I know like it's a hard thing to describe, but
yeah,
what do you think there is?
I guess just like connectivity via, if it's performance, via human reaction, connection, locking in.
I was thinking maybe synchronization or alignment. This sort
alignment
of thing.
Is really good. Yep. I would say alignment. I should have used that word.
Yeah. And you did just briefly mention feeling that pressure a little bit more in the studio. What are some tools you have to face that pressure head on and still turn up and perform?
Great question. I think because it's other people's if I'm playing bass, it's other people's, it's their baby, it's their work. I want them to feel good about what I've done. So I think if I have preparation time, I like to prepare multiple ideas and styles so that they don't feel like they have to agree with what I've played in my first take or something. So I'd say preparation if I can. Otherwise, just the ability to adapt in the moment and listen to what they need and internalize it, try to create what they've said. I've worked with a few artists that maybe are like more songwriters that aren't instrumentalists, and they will sing what they want. They'll kind of try to sing a bass line, and I'm trying to produce what they're trying to sing. So that's also that's, I guess, the main thing is trying to work with them, and hopefully we both feel happy by the end, which we normally do.
Yeah. Well, speaking at it from like working with people in optimal conditions for you to excel, if someone's working with a bass player or an instrumentalist of any nature, what can they do? So let's pretend like I'm a songwriter, I'm hiring you as a session musician. What's the best brief or setup I can do to make the experience more inclined to lock in, to align?
Right. I reckon...
What do you want before you get into the studio from the person whose baby it is?
It's nice to hear the track before. Like, I'd love to, if they can send like an empty track with some have bass ideas already, but I would love to hear it without anything, so I'm not predisposed to any ideas. Because I think as soon as I do kind of lean into it. So some blank tracks, and then maybe some just keywords of what they want. Some like bitey sounds, some like warmer kind of tones, or that's kind of just some keywords and like an empty track. I'd love that. Mm-hmm. But that's my ideal preparation. Yeah,
cool. And to help locking in, is it also, does the same rules of like getting to the studio 30 minutes beforehand to like hang out, is that going to help as well? Or like, because you mentioned that with performance, to get together with the band before and
that's a great idea. I don't think I have done that, but that would be a great thing to do. I think so. Just being able to run it as you're there, feel comfortable, set yourself up. Yeah. I should do that. Yes.
Yeah, cool.
I think studio time is so limited though. So when you get there and they might be already prepared just to smash it out. So
you're on the clock. That's true.
Depends. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe before studio time.
Yeah.
And now, just to close out, speaking to all the bassists out there, what would you be saying to an aspiring bass player?
I would say just the classic say yes to everything. And for me, I really have loved learning different kinds of styles of music. Like, I love festivals, I love covers, I love touring, I love traveling with that, and I love like theatre. And it's being able to do bits of everything has now made me further along in my career, be able to pick and say yes or no to what I want to do. So I think at the start, just doing everything. And even if you feel like, oh, I've never done this type of gig before, I've never done pit work or something, just say yes and just do it. And you'll obviously better yourself as a bass player, and you'll just open up so many doors, meet people. That's 50% of it. It's just meeting people and then going from there. So I reckon just take as much as you can. Yeah.
Yeah. And how many bass guitars do you need?
But I have 5 over there. Yeah. So not too many, but I had one for about 10 years.
Yeah.
So
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, that flexibility of taking on gigs that you're maybe not comfortable with, I think as any instrumentalist will be sound advice. And then building that over time to a point where, like, you know, you're a full-time musician now and you're doing that in different domains, right? As a bass player. But you needed the initial exposure, and now you're in this position where you can say yes or no. So it's yes until you can say yes or no.
That's what I think for sure. And it's nice to be in a position now where I can just alter my path by saying yes or no.
Great. Awesome. Well, thanks so much for sharing those key insights there, Emily.
Good.
We're going to let the Song of the Month play out while maybe you tell us anywhere you want people to keep up with you. That could be socials or bands, projects that you think people should be keeping an eye on, maybe sharing some Instagrams or whatever it may be. Hit us.
Yeah. I pretty much share all what I'm up to via Instagram, and then a couple shout out to a couple artists, Lavetta and Caitlin are my current bands I'm working with. So give them a follow, see what you think of their music.
Nice. And your Instagram handle is?
I think it's Emily Farrell _music.
Nice.
Off the top of my head.
Cool. And do you know the Lavetta and Caitlin? I think Caitlin's Caitlin Music or something.
I think it's just their name, yeah. Lavetta's like L-O-Z.
Yeah, cool. Nice. Well, thank you so much. Good to have the Supreme Bass insights. Good work.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Thanks for sharing, everyone. And you guys take care out there. We'll see you next month for another installment of the AUNZ Music Podcast. Ciao, ciao.
Bye.